Hi everyone, guys. This video is about my relationship with money. I promise to share and talk about how I view this topic, what I do, what works for me, and what my relationship with money is like in general. And I want to start by saying that my attitude towards money was actually formed a long time ago, even long before I first heard about things like visualization or methods of managing reality. I already had this. From the moment I started having my own money, when I began to earn, that was in 2007, I think, or maybe 2006. I started working probably in 2006 and I began to get my first money. Even then, I had a light attitude towards it, although earning it wasn't always easy. Yes, I got a job as a kitchen assistant, and then 2 weeks later, again, visualization, you see, I got hired as a kitchen assistant. Basically, I was just a teenager with no experience. Then I saw how the cook worked. I liked it, I got interested in it. I started to get into it and imagined myself working as a cook. 2 weeks later, I became a cook. And then I watched the bartender. I liked how the bartender worked. I wanted to do that too. I pictured myself as a bartender as well. And after about probably 2 or 3 months working as a cook, then the bartender left and they hired me as the bartender. So I had this kind of rapid growth, but I didn't work there for long, maybe about half a year. But that was my first job. And even back then, I had a relaxed attitude towards money. Even though I worked 2 days on, 2 days off, 12 hours a shift, it was a tough job, really, especially when I was a cook. As a bartender, too, you're always on your feet. In short, this attitude I have towards money, somehow I already had this easygoing attitude built in. I didn't really stress about it. I earned money and spent it on what I wanted, on what I liked. I used to take taxis, by the way. Back then, they even paid for my taxi rides. No one else got that. But I had to close up the pizzeria and then go home, and the buses weren't running anymore. When I became a bartender, management started paying for my taxis, and when I left that job, they stopped paying for my taxis, but I really value comfort. And I just set myself this goal, that from now on, I would always travel by taxi or in my own car. And that's how it's been ever since. If I didn't have a car, I always took a taxi. I still haven't ridden otherwise. I don't remember the last time I took a bus or used public transportation at all. I've been living in Germany for 5 years now. It's already my 6th year, and I still haven't taken the bus here even once. Basically, that's how it works, yeah. If you have a specific goal, you always find the money for it. I've had all sorts of situations in my life. Sometimes I had very small salaries, sometimes I earned a lot, but somehow I never really had problems with money. If I wanted something, I always managed to find the money for it. I just had the certainty that I would have it. I knew that as soon as I wanted something, it would come to me. I don't know how, but it would just come, that's it. That's how I ended up getting all sorts of things. Basically, I've never had a goal that was just about money. I think that's an important point too. It's something worth paying attention to. I never want money itself or some specific amount. For me, I want something and then the money comes to me for that. And that's how it's always been. When I don't want anything, well, the money is just there, for everyday needs and responsibilities. As soon as I set a goal, like, for example, I want this particular bag, the money comes for it, or the money just appears, or someone gives it to me as a gift, somehow it all just comes to me. So the first point I take from this is that if you want something specific, a particular thing or service, then the money for it will come to you if you know that this is how it will be. And that's what I decided. I had that intention, and now I always take taxis, that's it. And since then, for years now, of course, there were times when I drove my own car, and now I drive my own car. But in Germany, before I started driving, if I couldn't get somewhere, I would take a taxi. Also, in Russia, there were periods when I didn't have a car, and all the time to work, from work, wherever I needed to go, I would take a taxi. And someone else might think, why spend so much money? Really, a taxi costs 500 rubles. I don't know what the prices are now, but back then it was 500 rubles for a round trip, and I would spend that because I was traveling a long distance. And basically another person would start saving, thinking, why spend so much money? I think if I had started thinking that way too, there would have been less money. You see, I wouldn't have ended up with that money as a surplus, like, I won't spend it on a taxi, I'll do something else instead. But in reality, I would just end up with less money. You know what I mean? So wish for more, wish for things, not just money itself. Wish for things, and the money for them will come. If you start saving thinking, I'd better not do this, I'd better not do that, maybe in the moment you'll notice, yeah, I didn't take a taxi, so I have 500 rubles left, But later on, this mindset of I'd better save, I don't have enough, this state of need and lack, it will start to be reflected in your world, and you'll experience lack, and that money will be taken from you, like in the Bible. If you have, more will be given to you. I don't remember exactly how it's said, but if you don't have, even what you have will be taken away. That's exactly how it works. By the way, I wanted to say, in the last live stream, someone recommended a book by Neville Goddard to me. A few people mentioned it during the stream, and then I saw it in the comments too. So I thought, since so many people are telling me about it and I felt this impulse, I should read it. And I started reading. I come up with reasons why I needed to go through such a journey, to read all sorts of different books that I talk about, the ones I highlight. Of course, I read many more books by various authors, different books, watched different videos, brought in some personal experience, gathered all of this together to form some kind of picture. But really, you could just read these books, even just one book that I think contains everything you need to know. I believe it's called From Consciousness to Dream, something along those lines. And actually, all his other books, which I've already read several of in this time, in just 2 days, I really like them all. You know, every word he writes, I find myself saying, yes, yes, yes. I wonder, why is it all like this, right? It's like I agree with everything. All the knowledge I have, everything I've gathered along this long journey, it's all there. Why didn't I see this book before? Why did I have to go through such a long journey? But I think probably it was so that I could eventually find this book, read it, and confirm, so to speak, the whole picture that I had formed. So I really recommend this book. You can skip all the other books I recommended before and go straight to his books. I've already read several and I like them all. You can read any of them. Anyway, I got a bit sidetracked. Basically, if you're saving money on something, you might save in the moment. Like right now, you didn't buy something, you kept your money and you think, oh great, I saved. But in the future, you'll end up with less money. That's how it works. You're basically projecting a state of need that you have to save. When you spend money generously, then you project a state of abundance. People talk about abundance and ask how to be in abundance. Well, abundance is exactly when you don't worry about how you'll get that thing. You just want something and you know you'll have it, that the money for it will come to you. You have this subconscious feeling that you are abundant, that you have all the means for it, that you have them. Even if you don't have them at the moment, you're sure they'll appear. You don't know how. They might fall from the sky. Someone might run by and throw a suitcase of money at you. In short, it's this kind of faith, a lighter attitude, so to speak. The more you save, the less money you have. That doesn't mean that if you have little money now, you should go and spend your last bit. Just pay attention to your inner state. When you spend some money, what do you feel? What emotion do you experience? If you feel like, that's it, I'm giving away my last, you're tearing it away from yourself, it pains you so much to part with it, then that's exactly what will keep happening, you see? You need to make an effort with yourself. As I've said before in my videos and live streams, you need to practice with small things to believe that this is how it works. You kind of need to take charge of yourself, so to speak, and stop acting this way. You need to realize that with these thoughts, you're only making things worse for yourself. And simply, if you spend money, give it away with gratitude, because you are getting something in return for it. Be thankful that you have money and you can buy this for yourself. When you give away money, it's just some pieces of paper, but look at what you get in return. Give it away with a sense of gratitude. Actually, I've had many situations where I just lost money like that for no reason. I never worried about it. I remember I went to a brow training course after I had already been doing eyelash extensions. I used to do eyelash extensions before, and I paid, it wasn't a small amount, 60,000 rubles for 3 days of training. And it just didn't work out for me, you know? I tried doing brows, but I didn't even make back, meaning I didn't earn back the amount I spent on the training. I realized it wasn't for me, I didn't like it, so I stopped doing it. I remember how my family was so upset, saying, it's such a shame, so much money, why do they charge so much for this training? But I didn't feel that way, you know? And then somehow everything just came back, the money started coming in again. I've never had any regrets about spending a lot of money. If I bought something and then ended up not liking it, there's no regret about the money spent. It's like I just let it go easily and then it comes back to me just as easily. If I start trying to hold on to it, I've experimented with that. There were times when I fell into that and started to think about money, like there's not enough, I need to hold on to it, and the more I tried to hold on, the less I had. I've checked this 100 times. It works 100% seriously. And as soon as I realized, like, what am I doing? I started to shift my mindset, and everything would go back to normal, to a good, new, normal flow. Money would come in. For me, it was never about, like, making millions and millions. Lately, my goal is actually the opposite. I want to do what I enjoy, and that's what I'm putting out there. That's kind of my main goal, And what I'm doing now is, since people started coming to me, that's where my focus is set. Because of that, it's kind of growing for me. When it comes to money, I basically have what I need. If I want something, it comes to me. So overall, I have enough money for a calm, peaceful life. As for millions or anything like that, well, I'm sure that if I set that kind of goal for myself, not necessarily in terms of millions, but in terms of certain things I want to have, then they'll come true if I have such bigger goals. For now, I'm just in the right state, and I simply have what I need. What is my inner request, my state? What is my inner state? When I go to the store, I don't look at prices. I never have, not just now. I've never looked at prices in the store. I mean, I can see how much something costs, but it's never been like, okay, I'm looking at this, but that one's cheaper, so I'll take that instead. That's just not how I am. I take what I like, even if it costs more. If I like it, I'll get it. I won't let the price in short doesn't affect my choice. And this inner state I have, where I don't look at prices, I just take what I like, it's supported by the fact that money comes to me. Money comes to support this illusion, let's say, this belief I have that I always have enough money for what I want. If I want something, the money comes to me for it. But as soon as I start slipping into the mindset that there isn't enough money, that money is running out, then there really is less and it's not enough. That's how it works, seriously. Also, I very often leave tips if I use some services or in stores. If there's change left and they have a little jar for coins, I'll throw in whatever I have, no matter how much. Sometimes I'm the last one there and there's still money left. I'll throw it in anyway. And then it comes back to me. It's like you're paying yourself, That's how you should look at it. Like, I read in a book once that it's like a vending machine. You put in $1 and it gives you 3 back, always. And when you give money with gratitude, not like you're tearing it away from yourself, but just being thankful that you got something you liked and you give it, or you're just in a good mood and you want to leave someone some money, then more comes back to you. It's exactly with this inner state of abundance and generosity, with the feeling that you have plenty. When you give, you're kind of affirming that you have a lot, but when you hold back, you're affirming that you don't have enough. And even just a little bit, it truly doesn't have to be large, overwhelming amounts. If you find yourself in a truly difficult or challenging situation, start with small, manageable things, gradually and thoughtfully shifting your mindset in this positive way. Then you will notice that things will genuinely start to improve, and you'll progressively be able to do more and more. But it's precisely this profound feeling that you have plenty and are able to generously give that ultimately brings even more abundance into your life. For example, if you deeply desire something, you naturally start thinking about how you will effectively achieve it. Let's say you genuinely want something specific, perhaps a beautiful house, a comfortable apartment, a reliable car, a stylish bag, or indeed anything at all. And your mind immediately starts offering you various options. Can you realistically afford it or not? And how will the necessary money actually come to you? You absolutely need to let go of this particular way of thinking. The mind is simply there to creatively generate ideas and possibilities for you, but you absolutely shouldn't try to meticulously figure out exactly how every single detail will happen, because you truly don't know all the myriad possible ways. Do you fully understand this important concept? If you start thinking about how exactly you're limiting yourself, because it's possible that money for this thing will never come to you in that way. For example, it might come to you in a completely different way. But when you start thinking in this particular way and then things start going differently, in reality the way you actually need, another path leads you, a simpler and faster one, but you think that's not the case. And you start slipping into other vibrations, thinking that nothing will work out, that everything is wrong. You thought it would be different, but you see that everything is not going the way you planned. You start slipping into that state, and that's it. Your state changes, and it gets confirmed that you won't have it, just as you thought. You think, well, I imagined it would be this way, but it's not working out, so it probably won't work out at all. Everything in our world depends on our inner state. And again, this book I'm reading right now confirms all of this once more. And I really like that he includes a lot of quotes from the Bible and all these different situations described in the Bible. He explains how to interpret them, because you're not supposed to take them literally, but rather a bit, well, let's say it's all said in a veiled way. and it's so interesting. Honestly, I recommend reading this book. But again, everyone there talks about the same state. What really influences what happens is faith. Faith that this is truly the case, up to the point of knowing. If you want something and you know that you already have it, that you already possess it, or if you want to change something within yourself, like being thin or, I don't know, strong, healthy, if you have the knowledge that this is already true and you keep imagining it, immersing yourself in it, living it, the more you do this, the stronger that feeling will become that it really is so. You just need to do this often. If you only do it from time to time, it won't give you such results. If, for example, your sense that it's already true and already exists is weakly developed, then it won't bring such results. You need to do it in such a way that you are absolutely certain that this is the case. And when you are certain that this is the case, you don't take any actions to obtain it because you already know that you have it. You no longer try to figure out with your mind, well, I need to do this to get it, I need to do that to get it. It's as if it leads you on its own. People come to you on their own, situations arise on their own. You don't do things from the position of, I have to do this to get it. Instead, everything just seems to happen by itself. This means that you have that inner state, you've got it. The inner feeling that you are certain it already exists. And when you become that, it manifests itself. The stronger your knowledge that this is truly the case, the faster it comes to fruition. To sum up, here's what I do to stay in a state of such abundance that money comes to me, and it really does come, and all of this gets confirmed. First, I visualize a specific thing, not money itself. I have a certain desire and the means for it appear, because money is just a tool. Second, I kind of don't try to save. If I want something, I tell myself, this is what I'm going to do. For example, like with the taxi example, the money for it comes. If I start saving, in the moment I'll save, yes, I'll have money left right now, but then that money will go away, there will be less of it, and it will stop coming in. You think that if I stop doing this now, that money will just stay with me as a surplus. But in reality, that money was coming to you because you had a goal to ride taxis. The money was coming to you for that purpose. When you remove that goal, there will be less money for it, and the money for that purpose will simply stop coming. It's an illusion that you'll have more in the moment, yes, but later your state will reflect that there will be less money. Third, I don't compare prices. In the store, I take what I like, even if, for example, you can't afford to take what you like right now and you have to compare prices. Then just do it without emotion. Don't complain like, oh, prices are going up. Yesterday it was this much and now it's that much. Don't get caught up in all that. Just if you can't afford it right now, then just buy less. But don't put your emotions into it. Understand what good does that do you. Yes, maybe in the moment you want to let off some steam. You're angry, like why is it like this? But who are you hurting by doing this? Only yourself. So you should also pay attention to these moments in yourself. When you spend money on something, give it freely and with joy, knowing you're getting something in return, not feeling like you're tearing it away from yourself. But these emotions also have a big impact on how you spend money. So pay attention to this as well when you give with gratitude, knowing that you are receiving something in return. And it comes back to you later. When you give money with gratitude, it returns to you. When you let it go easily without holding on, it comes back to you just as easily. You know, I saw a video like this from a blogger once. His name is Piotr. And while I don't agree with him on some issues, his worldview, in many ways, we are similar. And this particular video was about money, about our relationship with money. I really liked it. He made a very interesting analogy, saying that money is like a relationship with a person. If you keep chasing after them, trying to hold on, saying, don't go, like this, like a jealous wife not letting her husband go anywhere, then money will run away from you. You actually need to treat money like a person. You know, as I wrote in my Telegram group, you need to treat it like the ideal wife, according to many men. When it comes, be happy, praise it, love it, don't complain, don't nag, don't say, why did so little come? Don't get irritated, just accept it with joy, love it, and be grateful. If it wants to go fishing with friends, let it go easily. Don't keep calling and asking, when will you come back to me? Let it go and don't try to hold it back. And that's the kind of relationship you should have with money. This will support your inner state of abundance, and that abundance will be reflected on the outside. So I think that's everything I wanted to say on this topic. Leave a comment about your relationship with money. What do you support and what don't you? Maybe you've noticed something about yourself. Thank you for writing. Thank you for leaving comments under my videos, liking, subscribing to the channel, and sending donations. With that, I'll say goodbye for now. Bye-bye.